Tech Tales 21, reading time slips of charges from my clients. And this time I'm working with, let's see, this is the apartment building G. 6:30 to 6:46 p.m., so 16 minutes. And this is for a person within the office who is has been working for the company for some time in a different position where he didn't use a computer. Now he's in the office, and I had on a previous time slip created an email address for him, Microsoft 365, and assigned a Microsoft 365 license to him. So now this connection was to reconfigure the computer for this person. Now this is the kind of reconfiguration that I really like. It's when I have the computer set up in the way that I prefer, meaning they log into the computers with a generic station name or a generic desk name. It's not personal to them, to that person. So all I had to do was add his email account in Microsoft Outlook. He's not going to log in with a different name. The recently used files list on this computer are for that job position. So it's totally appropriate that he has access to the recently opened files for that job position. In this office, the data files are stored on each computer in the My Documents folder, which is backed up via OneDrive to the OneDrive account. There's no server in this office. Their primary resident database is online, so it's through the web interface. So all they're doing, the data files on their computer is Microsoft Word documents, some Excel spreadsheets, not a big deal. So I added him to that computer. It's called the leasing computer. It's for new residents coming in to lease a room in the building. And I removed an account from that computer that was from 2 people ago, 2 persons ago. So now this computer has his new account and the person who is just leaving that desk. She's going over to work in the other building that I designate with the letter D. So the time slip for his work was 6:30 to 6:46 p.m. on Monday, April 26th. Today is May 4th in the evening, 5:38 p.m. my time. About half an hour ago, I finished the live stream session with Ken Stout. So now I'm recording the Tech Tales that will be published tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. my time in California. The next time slip is the apartment building that goes by the letter D. So this was for the staff person that was leaving that desk at G and going, she's being reassigned to the building known as D. So I connected to her computer 6:50 p.m. to 7:07 p.m., configured Outlook, Word, and Excel on that computer. Now, on both of these computers, when I reconfigured them for the person, I also changed the Microsoft 365 license on those computers because they previously, when they opened Microsoft Word or Excel or Outlook, up in the upper right corner, it shows the Microsoft account, and those are specific to the people. So I had to remove the license for the prior person and apply the license for the new person for each of these 2 computers in these 2 different buildings, which constitutes 2 different clients for me, but a person moving from one of those offices to the other. And in reconfiguring OneDrive, what I do is I go into the settings for OneDrive and remove the check mark that says save space, download only when needed. Something like that. I'm saying that wrong. I'm going to go look at that over here. Let's see, go into settings for OneDrive and over here. Yeah, so let me show you that. Yeah, so here, I'll cancel all that window to show you the whole round trip. So right click on the cloud icon for OneDrive, go into settings, come to the settings tab. This check mark here that says save space and download files as you use them. That check mark means the files in my OneDrive folder are not actually on this computer. It's just a shortcut icon. So if I want to transfer the data files that are in the prior person's account to the new person's OneDrive account, the way I do that is to remove that check mark and allow it to have time to download all the files to the hard drive. And then let's see, I can show this too. I can show more about this. So I'll remove that check mark, allow it time to download all the files, and then come over to account and unlink this PC. And then it's going to give a message that about the files will still be on this computer and in the cloud. I'm not reciting it correctly. Someday maybe somebody will let me go through that with them during a Zoom session and a live stream so I can show the process. But I wind up with all the files on this computer, and then I reassign or add the account. After I've unlinked the PC, then I can add an account. So I'm going to add the new account to this computer, and it's going to suggest the same OneDrive folder that I've been using, but then it's going to say, wait a minute, there's already files there. Are you sure you want to use that one? And I'm going to say, yes, I do want to use that one because it contains the files that I want. If I don't answer that question right, it's going to create another OneDrive folder on the hard drive of this computer. And in this case, I don't want that. There have been cases where I do want that. It can get a little confusing. So I went through that process for both of these two computers, and I added the email account on each of these computers in Outlook, and I reassigned the license for Microsoft 365 on each of those computers to the new person's account. So that was 16 minutes on one computer and 17 minutes on the other computer. And I kind of think that was a good, that was a short amount of time to accomplish that. Then let's see, that is those two computers. What do I have next? Yeah, I can do this one. So this is one of the attorney's offices. I told you that I'm going to identify the attorney's offices. P for practicing, BMW. So each of those letters stands for a different attorney's office. This one is for W. And this was from 3:40 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. So 5 minutes. One of the paralegals in the office called me saying she's trying to fill in the a form online in an online website. It is a INS form, Immigration and Naturalization Service. And she says she gets to a certain field and there were two fields that she couldn't type any characters. She could see the field there, it looked normal. She could not click in it and get a blinking cursor to where she could type information. So I connected to her computer remotely to have a look because I had no idea what this was, had not seen this form before. And she did say that field would activate, but I don't think it had a blinking cursor. But I did think when she clicked on it, it kind of changed highlight or color or shading or something. So I looked it over, and I had an idea that something else on this form, some other answer she did on this form, prevented those fields from being valid or applicable. And that's why she couldn't enter anything. So I started describing that to her, and then I noticed just above, there was a line separating two pages. Just above that line, or there was some kind of a barrier, I saw about a 2-sentence paragraph that said exactly that. That if you don't put a check mark in this previous item, then skip to question number such and such. So it was telling her to skip over those fields for filling in those names. But she knew she needed those names filled in, so that's when she realized that she needed to put a check mark in that checkbox. And I don't know if it was the verbiage of how that paragraph read, that, or if she didn't read it or whatever, she did not put a check mark in there, and that was preventing her from putting information in those two fields that she knew she needed but couldn't enter. So that's kind of that's kind of fun when I come across something like that, and I tell people, just because I haven't seen something before doesn't mean I can't help with it. That's kind of the job description for me. As a small business computer consultant, it is commonplace, normal for me to work on an issue that I've never dealt with before. And that's a skill that you need to do the type of computer support work that I do. Not all computer support professionals have to be able to do that. Now, some computer support professionals managing this client would tell them, you're going to have to call that company to find out what to do. And they won't even attempt it. And typically, I think that those are ones that are on a contract basis, where they charge a flat fee for supporting the computers. They don't want to go into areas that they've never done before, because then it gets kind of touchy. How do we got to tell them that this does not fall within your contract, so we have to bill you for that. And then there's that uncomfortable conversation. I never have that conversation because I don't have any contracts. I don't have any flat rates. I charge them time. Start time, end time, the computer figures out the difference. There's an hourly rate. You get a bill for it. I'm happy with that. My clients are happy with that, so that's what we do. So I think that's the end of this session. I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.